In this video, we're going to go over what Crohn's disease is and exactly what I did to fix my Crohn's disease. Crohn's disease is chronic inflammation that won't go away in any part of the GI tract from mouth to anus. Now, this term is normally used to describe somebody who is suffering from inflammation in their small intestine, but it's also accompanied with other digestive complications such as gastritis, perianal fistulas, and colitis and proctitis. If you go to your doctor, he's going to tell you that Crohn's disease is not fixable, and this is just a flat out lie. Crohn's disease is fixable. I fixed it. I have seen many others fixed it. Your GI doctor doesn't want to fix your Crohn's disease because he wants to make money off of you. Guys, I need your help with the YouTube algorithm so we can get this important information out to everybody. Hit that like button and it really helps me out. Hit that subscribe button. Leave a comment down below and I will reply with some helpful advice. So the root cause of Crohn's disease is an unexpected conflict shock that we experience as an indigestible thing in our life. This is something we can't stomach. We can't digest it, we can't accept and absorb it. Now, in the wild, when an animal gets a piece of food, like a piece of bone, stuck in their digestive system, it has to run this special program to overcome this obstacle. But the brain doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's imaginary, what's figurative. And so these things in our lives can be perceived as indigestible, which throws our intestinal organs into overdrive to help us digest this indigestible thing in our life. It can be troubles in a relationship, troubles at work or school, troubles with your finances. And to prove to you that this is true, 100% of the time, people with Crohn's disease, they're going to have lesions in their CT brain scans in their brainstem in a very specific location. This is my CT scan of my brain, and you can see right here, I have two lesions, these two white marks. Here's a close-up of it. These are lesions in my brain from when I suffered from Crohn's and colitis. This is my wife's CT scan who suffered from colitis, and sure enough, right where the colon is controlled, she has these lesions as well. But 100% of the time, people who do not have Crohn's disease, they are not going to have these marks in their brain. So during the conflict active phase, we're going to have cell proliferation. These extra cells are going to help us digest and absorb this indigestible thing in our life that we cannot accept and we cannot digest, we can't break it down. So when the conflict gets resolved, this can happen in a number of different ways. But for example, in a relationship, maybe you kiss and make up with this person, or this person exits your life and you no longer have to deal with them. Maybe you work at a job and you didn't get the promotion. Maybe you finally get that promotion, or maybe you get a new and a better job. Now that we no longer have this indigestible thing in our life, we no longer need these extra gut cells. And our body will remove this extra tissue with the help of bacteria and fungi. And this will be accompanied with those unpleasant Crohn's disease symptoms such as diarrhea, gut pain, blood and mucus in the stool, weight loss, and fatigue. Now, some of you might be confused and wondering, like, hey, why have I had these healing symptoms for such a long time, for years and years and years? What do I need to do to finally get through this healing phase? Now, there are a few things that can prolong the healing phase and make the healing phase last forever. These are things that remind us of the conflict, and they put us back into the conflict active phase, and it becomes this whole jumbled mess. The most common thing that I see that interrupts the healing phase are what I call food allergies, food intolerances, or food tracks. So remember, you went on that celebratory meal when you resolved that conflict, and later that day, that's probably when your symptoms started, and you blamed those foods that you ate. I had a student who resolved the conflict, and then that night he celebrated with a milkshake and a cheeseburger, and that caused him to blame red meat and dairy on his Crohn's disease. And so every time that he ate these foods, his Crohn's disease would flare back up again. And if you go on this diet or listen to this person or that person's advice, you start to perceive foods differently. And if you perceive a food as dangerous, now every time you eat this food, it will prolong the healing phase. We have other things called tracts and conflict relapses. So let's say, for example, you have a bad relationship with your neighbor. One day he runs over your dog, and that conflict doesn't get resolved until he buys you a new dog. And then the next month he's chopping down your tree or running over that new dog or your cat, or doing something crazy to upset you. This is an example of a conflict relapse, a conflict that keeps reoccurring. So things that remind you of the conflict, they put your intestines back into overdrive to help protect you, to help you to overcome this stressful situation. So essentially, Crohn's disease is resolved emotional trauma that was experienced as an indigestible morsel, or I can't digest this, I can't absorb this unpleasant thing in my life. And this condition can persist until we can fully let go of this incident on both a conscious and a subconscious level. It isn't a disorder, it isn't a disease, you aren't broken, you are functioning normally. So that's what Crohn's disease is. If you want step-by-step guidance on how to fix your Crohn's disease, then there is a link in the description to a helpful video that shows you exactly what I did step by step to fix my Crohn's disease and have it be gone for good. This is me. I gained over 30 pounds in just a few months, and I've helped many other students get rid of their Crohn's disease for good. If you live in the US or Canada, you can text this number to get exclusive Crohn's disease tips and tricks to help you get your life back.